Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the CHOFETZ talking about whether or not you're allowed to believe the words of Lashon HaRa that you hear, depending on who the person is that it's being spoken about. V'kol zeh shedibarnu, everything that we mentioned up until this point, hu b'stam yishuso, that's talking about a regular, ordinary Yid, a regular Jew. He's not a Rasha, he might not be a tzaddik, but he's trying to do his best. On such a person, you're not allowed to listen to Lashon HaRa and accept it. However, if the person that the Lashon HaRa is being spoken about has already been established in the eyes of the town or the like of the people that he's a rasha, he's a wicked person, even without this evil report that you're hearing right now, because it was already publicized on several different occasions. He already was proven that he transgressed blatantly different prohibitions that every Jew knows is forbidden to do. For example, he says, like adultery or other similar terrible transgressions that everybody knows that a Jew doesn't do. This person, since that he has already disproven himself as being a valid or valuable member of the nation because he sins terrible things, so therefore he is no longer amisecha, he's no longer considered to be part of your nation, and therefore just like there's the halacha that you'd be allowed to speak Lashon HaRa about such a person, therefore you're also allowed to accept and believe the Lashon HaRa about such a person as well. If Reuven comes to Levi, and Reuven starts telling Levi about his own dealings, and while he's in the midst of telling about himself, he begins telling over something that is really derogatory for himself and for a friend of his. So Reuben's telling over a story about some illicit business dealings that he had, and he mentions that his good old friend Shimon was involved with him in breaking the law. So Levi, who is listening to this account, is only allowed to believe the negative words that Reuven is saying about himself, but he's not allowed to believe the words that he says about about his friend Shimon over there. That means what it sounds like from the CHOFETZ is that although that I'm not allowed to speak Lashon HaRa about others, if I speak Lashon HaRa about myself, so then you are allowed to believe the derogatory negative remarks that I am saying. Although, of course, we do know the famous Maisa, where the CHOFETZ was once riding in a train, and the person sitting next to him they were on their way to Radin, and he was speaking about how excited he was to go to Radin and see the CHOFETZ, and it was the CHOFETZ. Nobody knew what he looked like back then. We didn't have pictures hanging up on our walls. There were no emails, and there were no WhatsApps, and there were no websites with pictures of the CHOFETZ. So this man didn't realize he's sitting next to the CHOFETZ. And the CHOFETZ kept saying, the CHOFETZ, he's not so great. I heard about him. Nothing so special. And the man was getting very upset. And the more that he got upset, the more the CHOFETZ said, calm down, the CHOFETZ, he's not such a special person. I saw him before. And the man said, be careful, you're saying Lashon HaRa about the great and the holy CHOFETZ. And the man got very angry at the CHOFETZ, not knowing that it was the CHOFETZ. When they reached Radin, and the throngs of people came out to greet the CHOFETZ, and the man realized that he, in fact, was getting angry at the CHOFETZ himself, he began to apologize profusely. Please forgive me for being so cruel to you. And the CHOFETZ said, no, I deserved it. Because the truth of the matter is, a person should never even speak Lashon HaRa about themselves. And that story seems to be a little bit of a contradiction to what the CHOFETZ is saying over here, because he's making it sound like you could speak Lashon HaRa about yourself to be believed. Now maybe perhaps what it means is that although you should not, because why put yourself in a bad light, If you did and a person heard, they're allowed to believe the Lashon HaRa that you speak about yourself, but not allowed to believe Lashon HaRa that you speak about others. Have a wonderful day.